We'll move to all these minutes. SPO, Special Purpose Ordinary Meeting of the 19th of July at 12:30.
Seconded.
Thank you. Councillor Ormsby, seconded Councillor Uvhagen. Is there any discussions before I put this matter to the vote? Any discussion before I put the motion to the vote? Tongue-tied there, sorry, Tim. Being none, all in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Any matters arising? Discussion? No. Right. Turangi-Tongariro Community Board minutes of the 3rd of August 2010. Actual amendments, again, should be made by the board at their next meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I will move that in that recommendation on 4/7, number 4856 be approved. And if anybody wants to discuss that, I'd just like to point out the anomaly or the stupidity of the board for a very small sum of $3,030 that's in the Turangi-Tongariro Safer Community Council's bank account. For us to roll it over, the board has to come to the council to get approval. And I've just read an $18 million thing, which to me is stupidity at its best. But however, that's the process as it stands now, and I'm asking that recommendation be approved so that money can be carried over for the Safer Community Council to use this coming year.
Okay, simply by voting all in favour, we'll execute that, won't it?
Correct.
Okay, any further discussion before I put the motion to the vote? All in favour?
Aye.
You've now got your 3,000 rolled over, Mr. Ormsby. Any other matters arising? Discussion therein? Being none, we'll move to the minutes of the Taupo Airport Authority Committee on the 10th of August. Let me catch up myself. A mover, please. And I'll happily second it, seeing on the committee. Before we go anywhere, Councillor Koswowski, do you wish to comment on the minutes, please? Oh, Councillor Ormsby.
Just one correction that I found here on page 1. It says item 8, general business, should read Councillor Howard. I didn't realise Councillor Howard was still a councillor.
No, he did resign.
Missed it.
That's a typo. Please. Yep. Okay, so Councillor Koswowski, do you wish to comment on the minutes at all?
Not unless people have specific questions.
Okay, I'll open it up for any questions or discussions from the Taupo Airport Committee minutes, please, of the 10th of August. There being none, all in favour? Aye. Carried. Item number 6 is Rugby World Cup Committee minutes held on the 15th of July. Councillor Downer, would you like to comment at all, being the chair of that committee?
I'll second.
So moved, and seconded Councillor Blythe. Are there any questions, discussions anybody would like to raise regards the minutes? Councillor Watts?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just on page 6/4/5, the budget, the cost centre managers are going to have to, for their the funds that are going to be needed for anything to do with the Rugby World Cup. Is there any possibility of establishing right now a cost centre for Rugby World Cup so that what I would be concerned about is that their everyday expenditure may be, shall I say, siphoned off and sort of perhaps seen as being expedient at the time being that it's used for the purpose of work associated with the Rugby World Cup, but for the proper accounting of it, I think we should start right now. If this in fact is happening, we should establish a cost centre and it be managed in truly by somebody to that effect.
With due respect, through the chair, management will decide how they capture the finances related to the activities that happens within the council. Should governance have any questions on those finances, then we will answer those questions accordingly.
So I have a concern that should service be diminish elsewhere because of funding going specifically for World Cup issues, that it has an effect on the other operations. So that's why I raise it. And I'm saying, well, maybe we need to set up a cost centre now, and it be unbudgeted expenditure for Rugby World Cup and the other things that would normally go on for the everyday business are not affected.
But Councillor Welsh, until June next year, we have a budget for Rugby World Cup, and we're within our budget and working from that pigeonhole towards June next year. When we know exactly what's going to happen in Taupo Rugby World Cup 2010, October next year, we will be coming to the annual plan process to ask for the money to fund whatever we're going to be doing next year. At the moment, we're working in partnership with central government, Lotto's Commission, all sorts of places that are offering money to promote the district as a fan zone and a hosting district next year, and we don't actually know. That's why we have a committee, and that's why we're working through it, what funding level we will require next year, which is June 31st of July next year on. But up till 30th of June next year, we are in an annual plan process that has a budget, and we're within that budget. I saw Councillor Downer, he's the chair. I should have let you speak then. Sorry, sir. Away you go.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Welch, your concerns baffle me a little bit. The Rugby World Cup committee that's been formed over the last 6 to 8 months has run on a shoestring budget for a world-class event that happens every 25 to 30 years. We've got our first major event happening in the beginning of September with 1 year to go, which we are struggling to get money for, because we're very aware of your concerns in pinching money out of other budgets. We've had a lot of fundraising done to do the screens, LED screens to be put up for the 1 year to go. Through a lot of businesses and media works that have come in and helped sponsor that. So I think the Rugby World Cup committee are very aware, and we know that time's running out and we need to apply into the annual plan for what funds that we do need. And hopefully we will get a lot through sponsorship and stuff like that. But the simple fact is, this is a once in every 25 to 30 year event, a huge event. And Taupo is right, the hub of that event. So I do expect there is going to be money spent for it, and we are working towards a budget towards that, and hopefully that will address all your concerns.
Okay. Well, similarly, if I may respond, if in fact, if these cost centre budget managers, as it's referred to here, needed to manage their allocated operation expenditure budgets and come within the agreed annual plan, that also follows that there might be times when it may have to be exceeded. So, in other words, there could be restraints just as well for the expenditure imposing on the every day-to-day activities, or it could be an imposition on getting the right job done for what we hope will be a great event for Taupo for the Rugby World Cup because of their restrictions. So what I'm trying to do is clear the way forward so that there are no restrictions regarding these, that may be imposed on the managers to do their job properly, and for us at the end of the day to have a successful outcome from the 3 teams that will be visiting here. Well, and our responsibilities as host, and we already know that we've made unbudgeted quite extensive commitments.
Well, Councillor Welsh, please take comfort that I'm on the committee along with the chairperson, Councillor Downer. We're not feeling any constraints at this time. We don't need any more budget at this time. It's next year when the event actually happens that we'll need more budget, and we'll come to the annual plan process, or whoever's in this council will come to the annual plan process in January, February next year, whenever it's done, with the wish list of how much money we need to host the South Africans, the Irish and the Welsh, which we all know we're proud to be doing. Yes, we have spent some unbudgeted expenditure with Rugby World Cup in mind, but with the greater picture in mind, and we're talking about the big screens.
Mr Mayor, you're incorrect with that statement. We have not spent any unbudgeted money.
Well, if you'd let me just finish, but when we did that, we came to council and made the decision to do it. It was a council decision. And if Rugby World Cup needs any more funding to get the job done to be the best we can, I'm sure that the Chair and I will support him and Councillor Bryce also on the Rugby World Cup in coming to council and asking for a resolution for the said finance that we might need.
Well, just again, I reiterate, if it reads here that they have to manage within these agreed operation expenditure budgets, and that means that their activities are going to be somewhat fettered because of it, well, they need to be unfettered, because we may need to make sure that we're going to do the best job we can.
Let me
so
try.
I'll leave it there because I understand that Councillor Down, yourself, Councillor Blythe, have it all under control.
Let me try and wind it up. Look, if we need to come to you for some unfettered financial assistance, we will come. Councillor Ormsby?
Well, I just wanted to say to lay Councillor Walsh's fears, the next portion of the Rugby World Cup committee minutes, which were handed out today, and they're white. The meeting was held at Turangi, and as you'll see, I was an extra councillor in attendance, and I did actually raise this point, and I was assured, and by all the members in the room and the chairman himself, Councillor Downard, that they were certainly operating within the budget that they currently had. And just to reiterate what you said, Your Worship, that if prior to the 1st of July next year, that the current budget that they had was inadequate, they would certainly come back to council to get some unbudgeted money if that was the case. And they were definitely looking at preparing a budget on the 1st of July next year to cater for the World Cup, which is those teams coming to this town, and that will be presented starting from this November to go into the annual plan, etc., etc. So I just wanted to assure Councillor Welsh, and I was quite happy because I raised the question, and even though it's not in those minutes, they assured me that that was the case, and I'm more than happy with that.
Okay, Councillor Fagan.
Yeah, Mr Chairman, Councillor Ormsby just said that the meeting, that particular meeting of the 19th of August, was held in Turangi, but according to the copy of the minutes we have, it was held in Taupo.
Well, they will correct them when we get to
Yeah, well, okay, well, we're still on the minutes of the 15th of July, so there's obviously a correction there needed when we get there because we were in Turangi. I distinctly remember that. So any more questions or discussions on those particular minutes, which are the 15th July minutes? There being none, all in favour? Thank you. Carried. Now we move to the minutes of the 19th of August that says we were in Taupo. I'll get there. And we weren't. We were in Turangi. So could I have a mover for those, please? We'll do the amendments first. Okay, amendments. Okay, any further amendments? Being none, a mover, please.
I'll second.
Move Councillor Downard, seconded Councillor Blythe. I think I got that right. Councillor Downard, do you, being the committee chairperson, do you wish to comment on the minutes at all?
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate gentlemen of Koto and Chula. We went through a tour through
Pouakani.
Pouakani, and what they proposed down there as a celebration of the origin of the haka is absolutely fantastic. They haven't asked for any money. They've looked for a lot of their stakeholders down there, and even had some of the stakeholders knock on their door. It's going to be a fantastic event, and I think it's not only going to be a fantastic event for rugby New Zealand as a whole, but for the Ngāti Tūpari Tura local hapu down there that are supporting this event. So I just wanted to just limited that to congratulate Stu and Jim for all the good work they've done.
I think just to expand on that a little bit so everybody does understand what Mike's talking about, they're talking about catering for 10,000 people at a place called Opotaka down through the saddle past Turangi, where the haka was composed originally. I forget the gentleman's name, Rapraha, thank you. When he was being chased around, it's the original kamati haka, and I believe that's also where we're going to be officially welcoming the South Africans to the district. So it's going to be a big thing, and it's going to be great for the district, so looking forward to that. Any questions, discussions before I put it to the vote, please? Councillor Gathergood?
Just to put in that there is a meeting on Rugby World Cup in Mangakino on Monday. Yes, next month.
Yep. And anyone's welcome to come. Cool. Okay. All in favour? Aye. All right, so carried.